Hi everyone, Panic Pixie here with my sister. Say hi.
Hello.
And she made me this for Christmas. Is this crazy cool or what?
We started with a cardboard box that you'd cut apart and fold to kind of be the shape of the room that we wanted. Their kitchen had this odd 45-degree wall in the middle before coming back, and we put it in different pieces. So part of the living room wall, and then it just matches up so that it could fold up flat, or as flat as could be. And then we cover with scrapbook paper and paper printed off the internet for bricks and the purple walls and the backsplash. Should we just start here and move that way? Found the poster image online, printed it out, matted it with a little bit of cardstock to look like a frame. The light switch plates and the power outlets were printables found on myfroggystuff.com.
Right.
And I printed them on purple paper so that they would match the walls, look like they were painted. The gold, we added scrapbook paper several layers thick. We added several layers of scrapbook paper to make the door frame so that it would stand out and look a little thicker, look more 3D. This door doesn't open, but you can make them that open. We layered several sheets of yellow cardstock together to make the thickness of a frame and cut it out for that iconic look. Added a brad eyelet to the paper to look like the peephole. A couple pieces of cardboard glued together. We didn't even paint it or cover it because that color kind of looked metallic, so we just left it. A little piece of jewelry chain glued to the door makes for the door chain. This is a gold paper fastener with a little bit of this metallic gold paper behind it to look like the inside of the doorbell. And the doorknob again is a paper fastener with a little bit of gold scrapbook paper that we trimmed the corners of to look like the metal plate behind the door. Some embellishments from scrapbook supplies. These are Scotch command hooks, but we painted them brown to look like coat hooks. The kitchen has a bookcase
With the Velveteen Rabbit book.
with the Velveteen Rabbit. There's a whole episode where they get Velveteen Rabbit for a friend of theirs. Some cookbooks, because we know one of their friends loves to cook. And we filled it with actual Barbie and probably some off-brand things as well.
Here we are.
Not just Barbie brand, but some kitchen
Yeah, I think
paraphernalia.
that cake plate is from Gloria, I think.
Yeah, but some of this says Barbie on it, waffle
Yeah.
iron and things. So pretty much any Barbie kitchen supplies can go on these shelves, along with some cookbooks that we printed out from the internet. And I didn't always make insides to the cookbook. Some of them had pages, but some are just covers. We used cereal boxes and cardboard covered in blue paper to make the little bookcase. It looks like wood. Okay, next in the kitchen was the oven. The oven was one of the first things I did. It's kind of rough. Basically, we made a cardboard box covered in black scrapbook paper and the silver scrapbook paper. Rolled up a tube of paper and just painted it with a silver metallic paint to look like a metal bar. Some more eyelets into the paper to look like the knobs, yeah. And then on the top, they're a little rough, not perfect circles, but it was just a circle piece of cardboard with, again, the black scrapbook paper wrapped around it, and then just some silver paint just for the impression of burners. Not trying to look too exact. And the printable from myfroggystuff.com. In the kitchen, there are a lot of plates, If you can see around the corner, we have a lot of plates in the kitchen. These were printed off. You can just find pictures of decorative plates on the internet, and we printed them about the size we thought they would need to be. Printed them out, painted them with just a Mod Podge or clear glue finish so they look a little glossy, so it kind of look like glass or porcelain. And then you can trim them in a roughly edge instead of a perfect circle, and kind of curved them so that they have that little kind of plate lip to them. The pots and pans, there's more on the show, but I just did a couple different ones. This is paper painted black, made a paper tube and a paper circle for the bottom, painted in a gold metallic, just to kind of look like pots and pans. And we didn't make them so they'd come off the wall, we just glued them right to it. Again, the cabinet is just, I think it's cereal box cardboard covered in blue paper. And then all the groceries we found printables online. So there's cute little Campbell soups, and there's the Reynolds wrap foil, just adorable printables you can just find online doing searches.
My favorite.
Oh, the Nestle Toll House chocolate chips. There's a whole episode about her grandmother's chocolate chip cookie recipe, which turned out to be the recipe on the back of the chocolate chip bag. I also love the baking soda and the baking powder, really cute. In the background on the show, she has a utensil holder. I found an image of the utensil holder, printed it out, glued it to a tube of paper. Again, a paper bottom, and then I found a cream colored paint to match, and painted the rest of it. Covered it in a Mod Podge so it would be kind of that shiny ceramic look, and we filled it with already existing doll utensils. And you can fill in, again, it's a kitchen, you can put all your doll utensils.
I put a glue
The
dot to
cookie
hold that to
jar
the counter.
is also a cookie jar she has on the show. So it's a little rough, it doesn't stand on its own, so we've glued it down.
I got the toaster from Wish.com.
That toaster is very cute. And see, we made some extra plates
Or not .com, but
that can
the Wish
stack
app.
on the shelf, and she has her cups and everything on the shelf. Now the counter is cardboard that we covered in paper. The sink, can I take the sink out? The sink is the bottom of a kind of a Lunchables, kind of a lunch pack. We found one that was about the size we wanted. Took the food out, cleaned it, trimmed around it. It's a little rough, but it doesn't matter. Painted it with a silver metallic paint. And then the faucet is just paper wrapped in a tube, glued together. A piece of paper, painted silver, glued together to look like a faucet. And then the adorable soap dispenser. You made that
Yeah,
one.
I made it. I made two beads, and then this is a straw. Oh, sorry, the straw, and then this is part of a black. What are those? Like a zip tie.
Oh,
Yeah.
very cool. Yeah, ingenious. You know, just use garbage and recycle it, and then that can pop down into the sink. We added some fabric under the sink. Just really adorable, as close as we could find to what they have on the show. And then that whole shelving unit sinks back in. I found a nice picture out of a window on the internet, printed it out, glued it to the wall,
And as you know,
and did some curtains.
the window in Monica's apartment, the background's always changing in the window.
Yeah, it changes season to season, and she doesn't have this nice of a building out her window, so we wanted to kind of make it an upscale. Now, we did a yellow cabinet the exact same way as the blue ones on the other wall. I've made a cardboard box, covered it in yellow scrapbook paper. I had two paper fasteners left over from scrapbooking days that we used for the little door pulls. They don't open. This is just another piece of cardboard that we totally wrapped like a Christmas present with paper and glued right to the front of the cabinet, so that doesn't come open. Now the refrigerator
That is
was
my best favorite
the
part.
first thing I did. Yeah, so it's a little rough, and it's
It's so
not
cute.
quite as thick as as a real fridge would be. And we have tiny little scrapbook picture stickers that I thought about the size of magnets would be for a doll, and a piece of gold cardstock across. This is the clip from a pen, and glued that on there to look like those old-fashioned refrigerators where you just grab the bar and the whole door comes open. This one does open. We put hinges on it and some magnets, eggs, milk, maybe some orange juice. And if you know, there's an episode on the show where they challenge each other to read the other one's favorite book. So one of the characters reads Little Women, the other character's reading The Shining, and they talk about putting them in the freezer when they would get scared. Whether one of the Little Women was about to die or whether the entire family was about to be murdered, they go in the freezer when it gets scary. So that's fun. On the show, they have this giant wood bookcase. It's also kind of like a beam or a support system for the kitchen, and
It didn't have Harley Quinn or Peppa Pig.
No.
Or Thomas.
season to season, they would have different flowers, and we did the flowers. The greenery was a plant found at your local arts and crafts store, and these were paper flowers from a scrapbook pack. And we just took a little bit of glue and glued them right to the greenery, and then it looks like a little flowery plant.
I made this. It's supposed to look kind of like a cactus. It's just a pom-pom with two beads.
Some beads. Just easy, you know, and experimenting, and then covered, again, it's cardboard that we glued together and covered it in this wood grain scrapbook paper, which I think is fun because it looks like wood. Let's move to the kitchen table. One of the characters likes to eat pizza, so we made a little pizza box. Oh, I have that open upside down. Some magazines.
They go to London.
This mug, I think you have a video on that mug, don't you?
I'm not sure I do.
It's just really cute.
This is kind of from a different TV show.
Maybe a popular show about office life.
I don't know what that could be.
This is one of our cookbooks that actually had cookbook pages in it. Look how cute. They can look at pictures of the food they want to make. And you can find, again, these printables online. That's even a Pillsbury brand.
Yeah,
So
Pinterest
let's move
is
the stuff
full
off the
on.
top. Yeah, Pinterest is full. You can do Google searches. So the table took me a while to figure out. That's one of those popsicle stick moments. So these are those big craft sticks, and cut and trimmed down, cut and trimmed, painted a dark brown to look like wood. I mean, they are wood, they're popsicle sticks, but painted brown. And then the top of the table was several sheets of this kind of cereal box kind of cardboard glued together about the right size we wanted, with one sheet of wood scrap paper glued on top to look like that wood grain finish. And then I couldn't figure out how to attach it, so I just stuck a ton of glue in a lid of a water bottle, stuck that in there and stuck it to there, and it works pretty well. You know, you can't really push on any of this or it's going to break, but it works pretty well. And then these chairs, if you remember on the show, she has mismatched colors and mismatched chairs, so we did 4 different chairs. These are just regular old computer paper rolled up into tubes. You use a glue stick or a different way to glue it shut, and a little piece of cardboard cut to the seat size. And then see, we weren't even careful painting the bottom because it didn't really matter. And when you paint it, they look like, you know, wood dowels. We did 2 yellow, but see, they're different. The backs are different. And a pink and a purple. And some of the seasons, they have cushions on them. Some of the seasons, they don't. We don't worry about it. The sconces were pretty complex trying to figure out. It's a lot of jewelry parts. So any arts and crafts store had jewelry making. This was actually the back of an earring, and we popped the cameo out, which we use later. And the black hook is from a black paper clip that we trimmed and glued on there. And then this silver cage-like piece is found in jewelry making department in an arts and crafts store. And then we had these little clear beads to kind of look like light bulbs. and glued it all together, and we trimmed down some magnets, some adhesive on one side, magnet on the other, and the other side's on the wall. And then that way, when you fold the room up, it'll fold flat, but when you want to hang your sconces, you'll hang the sconces. And then let's show the other sconces. We did smaller ones on both sides of the door here, and we did 2 on the other wall there. Again, the long piece is jewelry making. The hook part is a paper clip, and then jewelry making piece and a bead. And then those just stick right on the magnet and can be taken off to put away. The wall is covered with more scrapbook paper, a print we found online similar to the one on the show. We couldn't find the one they use exactly, but it's a bronze woman with some kind of animal near her, some pastoral scene. Then back in the hall farther, on the show, you can tell down the hall that there's artwork on that wall. You can't really tell what it is, but knowing she has French artwork around the apartment, so I gave her some pictures of Paris that we printed out in black and white just to go on that back wall. And then we added some scrapbook trim to look like paneling. We did the back wall by the closet.
I know it's in that closet. Comment if you know it's in that closet.
Simple door. There's an episode that revolves around the closet. We did some more flower sconces. It was just a paper tube, just regular old computer paper, wrapped around in a little cone-like tube shape. More greenery with a different kind of scrapbook flower you can find in your arts and crafts department. The paper crafting section, glued to the greenery, stuck in the paint. We painted it a nice creamy yellow to contrast the purple walls. Then we printed out a nice picture that you might see out of a New York apartment. It's a better view than she has on the show, I believe. There's a porcelain dog that's throughout most of the show, so we stuck him out on the balcony, just a flat 2-dimensional version. We made a valance just by covering, and then strips of cardboard, strips of scrapbook paper to look like the window pane. We covered a piece of cardboard for the valance in a creamy color, and then kind of played around with draping the curtain for over it to hang down to the floor, and then out of embroidery floss made cute little tassels in gold that could hang from the curtain, and it's all glued in the back so it's not going anywhere. And then on the right, on the show, they have the clown face and the sad face. That's that
Comedy,
traditional
tragedy.
Yeah, theater. We didn't have a sad face and a clown face, so we used the cameos from the inside of those earrings and stuck them on that corner. Some paper crafting embellishments on that wall. The bedroom door we kept pretty simple. Some paneling and a gold paper fastener. Now the right wall, we did 2 more sconces and found the artwork that she has behind the television, matted it on a gold scrapbook paper to look like a frame. Then let's go to these plants. This one is just a wood bead. There you are. A wooden bead. And just crammed some of those branches from the same greenery plant down into that wooden bead. Now it's a pretty good vase with a tall leafy plant in it. And down here, this one is a wooden napkin ring, probably found in the wood section of a craft store. Just kind of painted it a color that might look good in her apartment.
I think they have them at the dollar store.
Probably the dollar store, yeah. And took a ton of that greenery, and what we did was we wrapped it in foil to kind of hold it all together, and then shoved the whole wad of foil plant down in that napkin ring, and I think it's a pretty good little plant for that corner. Then let's do the TV. The TV we upgraded. She has a big old boxy 80s looking television on the show. We upgraded her to a flat screen. The printable was from froggystuff.com, but we added who are they going to watch but their buddy, Dr. Drake Ramori, on his soap opera on the TV. So we put him on TV. And this is layers of cereal box glued together, painted black, a paper tube here for support, more layers of cereal box, and you just keep gluing it together till it's about the thickness that you want. And there's our adorable television. The same printable was used for the remote control. Printable glued to just a couple layers of cereal box, but look at how, I mean, it really does look like a little remote control. The VCR, a couple layers of cereal box glued together, painted black until it's the thickness you want of about a DVD player, glued a label to look like the clock. Although I don't know if DVD players have the clock like the old VHS players did. We're mixing our eras here. This is one of the only pieces that actually bought that was a miniature piece. But that one we bought to add. The big brown dresser, let me move the stuff off top, is made a cardboard box about the size we would want it, and then covered the parts that would show in a dark brown scrap of paper, and didn't know what we were going to use for fasteners until we saw it in the jewelry department. These are those, like if you're making a beaded bracelet, you would tuck this end into this end to close the whole thing. So glued them on there to look like little dwarf holes. Added some scrap of paper to kind of look more like there's drawers. And you know, it's a little rough when you look really close, but I think it works for a nice dresser. Plus what's nice is it's hollow, you can store pieces down in there. Then, let's do, which one should we do next? The couch?
Mm-hmm.
The couch is a bit of a beast. What's nice are the throw pillows. We just found some fun fabrics at a fabric store that kind of look like they'd go. Made little, like pin cushions, made little pillows with those. She has a red quilt. We just found a red and white check print, so it would look like pieces had been quilted together. Folded it to be about doll quilt size and to throw over the couch. The couch is cardboard with fabric and some batting. So we took some time figuring out basic cardboard box, batting on cardboard on one edge, glued down. Same thing here. The back, just one big piece of cardboard. And the same thing with the arms with a little rolled up batting on the side. And covered the whole thing in fabric that you can then throw your throw pillows and your quilt on. Same thing with the chair, but the chair we wanted to be a little deeper. You can get Phoebe's guitar.
Elvis's guitar.
It was Elvis's originally, but we let Phoebe use it. And it's a little rougher, not as much batting in it. But the same basic idea, cardboard box covered in fabric we found at the fabric store. Now the coffee table was one of the first things I did. And I remember looking at the show and going, her coffee table looks like it was made out of popsicle sticks. So when you look at images of her coffee table, it looks almost exactly like this one. We used the wide craft sticks on the top, trimmed them, sanded the whole thing, kind of reinforced it on the bottom, and then added skinny sticks, popsicle sticks, and these are a series of just wood beads that you can find in the beading department of your arts and crafts store.
What?
Glued together. I didn't have to paint it because she has that natural wood color coffee table. And then the another plant similar to the others, flowers glued to the greenery, stuck in a wood bead. The bird cage is the only other miniature. It's not on the show. We just thought it was fun. The end tables couldn't be easier. A piece of cardboard, rolled up pieces of paper, the whole thing painted yellow. The other card table, oh, we made a box of Kleenex out of a Kleenex box. Trimmed this, made a little box, used the plastic, added a Kleenex in there because people have allergies, get colds. Then the other end table, this one our dad actually made out of prescription bottles, trimmed them, Glued some cardboard in there, some wood beads on the bottom. Glued a piece of scrapbook paper on the top to really look like wood while painting the rest a nice dark brown. It's a nice open end table. The rug is a felt square from the craft store, and hers has a black trim kind of edge that I just used a black Sharpie marker and kind of freehand a swirled edge. She has more flowers and things on the inside. I just figured the more I would add to it, I'd probably mess it up, so I just left the inside plain.
And then I made this
Now the ottoman.
There's a video how to make ottomans out of socks with my Froggy Life, but my socks always just looked like socks rolled up. So I wrapped that in this sticky kind of paper, kind of a fuzzy paper that you can find at the dollar store. And my Froggy stuff also has a video about that.
Nice.
I love Froggy and little Froggy.
And the only part we're missing is the floor. We found a tile-looking wooden planked floor-looking scrapbook paper, glued it together, glued it down to big poster board so that it could just be slid in there for the floor.
Because it all folds up and puts away pretty
it folds
small.
Probably about 6 inches wide.
Which is funny because it's taking up
some
like
of
my
the-
entire desk.
Yeah, when it's open, this thing is huge. But folded up, it's only about 6 inches wide.
Huge and so awesome.
It was a lot of fun putting it together. Some of the pieces took a lot longer than other. The couches took a long time. So if you're going to start a doll room, I wouldn't do couches. Use already existing couches. And then the other thing that took forever was, or if I did it again, I would make a square refrigerator instead of the curved top refrigerator.
Oh yeah.
Because if you do the square top, you can just make it like a cardboard box. Like all these other cabinets that were square. It was a lot easier.
Makes sense.
But the most fun was the groceries.
Yeah.
Printing out those cute printables, cutting them out and gluing them together to look like the packages or the cans.
Those are so cute.
I mean, the cans even have
Oh, I showed.
pop top. Can you tell?
Yeah, I love it.
Pop tops.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just really fun. Really
Yeah.
cute. And that's our dollhouse.
That's our dolls. The other thing I did with this kind of paper I got at the dollar store is I took the toilet I bought for Barbie and I taped it to the lid so it's not that hot pink and it's kind of cute. Okay, and we have a giveaway. We're going to give this away
When you reach how many subscribers?
when we reach 1,000 subscribers, and it's this mint in the box Barbie look poolside fashion. You can't buy this anymore. On eBay it runs way more.
Oh, the fan is
Than
really
it is.
cute.
Yeah, it has a fan, glasses, poolside menu, fruit
Of course, she's
plate.
eating healthy fruit.
Yeah, well, she's gonna fit into that swimsuit.
Yeah.
And shoes,
Really cute sandals.
bikini, and a little
Cover up.
wrap. And it's in really good condition.
Yeah, not even opened.
Yeah.
And for somebody that makes unboxing videos, to have it still in the box, that's pretty good.
Well, I also have one out of the box. All right, that's our show.
Hope it gives you ideas.
Yeah.
Be patient. Stick with it.
Comment what show set that
What
you
we
would
should
like
have
to
added,
make.
what we shouldn't have added. We're missing about 6 coffee tables or end tables that she has in that room. There's like 6 more tables covered with frames and all kinds of stuff that we didn't do.
And comment down below which dolls you think would match with which characters.
Oh yeah, you gotta put your dolls in so they can see who.
Here,
No. The ones you think look like the Friends gang.
there's Rachel. She looks really small. So, subscribe, like, comment, and thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
Bye. I'm gonna have to edit out this sound.
Oh, you're blocking your own light.
I am blocking my own light.
And if we talk about each piece and then like stop and then like start them talking about the next piece and then stop. Can we do it?